A visitor from another star system just entered our solar system, and it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Briefing. Thank you to all the new subscribers out there. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing. Around here, we pull at all the hidden threads, testimony, history, and evidence most people never even hear about. Guys, welcome back. I am back. I do apologize. I have been gone. I've been working on some stuff. I have some new podcasts in the pipeline that I'm trying to get out. And if you haven't already, please check out the episode I did with Bart Sabrell, author, filmmaker. We talk about the moon landing hoax. So it was a pretty interesting conversation. Guys, I want to talk to you today about something that's everyone is talking about. It's on everyone's radar right now. It's 3I Atlas. So for the people who don't know, 3I Atlas was discovered back in July 1st by the Atlas survey team, in Chile. So when this first hit, I will admit that I was not very interested. I just thought it was another comet. But as more stuff has come out, it's just getting weirder and weirder. And so I'm just going to go down what astrophysicist Avi Loeb has said. So we have here 8 known anomalies linked to 3I Atlas, according to Avi Loeb. Okay. Number 1 is going to be the massive size. So it's over 5 kilometers wide, weighing an estimated 33 billion tons. And so it's about the size of the island of Manhattan. Now, this is the third interstellar object to enter our solar system, the first one being Oumuamua in 2017. Then we had Borisov in 2019, and now 3I Atlas, 3 being the third, I interstellar, and Atlas, the survey team that discovered it. So, with Oumuamua, there were some weird things, right? Didn't have a tail. There was a lot of stuff that we haven't seen before. Borisov acted more like a comet. It did have a tail, but there's a lot of weird stuff with 3I Atlas. And and we're going to go over that. And I will say that, I'll preface this by saying, before I go any further, that I am not an expert in any of this stuff. I simply am just curious, and I find some pretty interesting things. I try to weave them together and then present them to you, and you let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think. Make your own decision about it, right? Number 2, strange jet, a forward jet of scattered sunlight 10 times longer than it's wide, pointing towards the sun. So, like I said, with most comets, right, we see a tail, and this is mainly caused by sublimation. As the comet gets closer to the sun, these are like dirty ice balls, and that ice gets melted by the solar wind and the radiation, and it turns to gas, and then we see this tail, right? What makes 3I Atlas strange is the discovery of a tail facing the direction of the sun. So this is Avi Loeb, and let's hear what he says about the tail.
Similar to the image we obtained from the Hubble Space Telescope on July 21st, which was enigmatic because there was an extension of the image in the direction of the sun, as if there is a jet that is luminous in the direction leading to the sun rather than away from the sun, the way we see for comets. So we see now that it passed near Mars, and there will be much better data. The best is yet to come from the high-rise camera on board NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. The data was taken, but because of the government shutdown, we haven't seen it. That particular camera is 0.5 meter in diameter and can give us 30-kilometer resolution of 3I Atlas, this new interstellar object. And that could potentially tell us how big it is, because the amount of sunlight that is reflected.
Okay, so here's the other thing that that's going on here. Now, by the time this video comes out, maybe we'll be out of this government shutdown. But because NASA is a government agency, that's why we haven't seen these photos that he's talking about from the high rise. But there are other agencies like the EUA, China, and the UAE that are supposedly have these high resolution photos, but we haven't seen them yet. There have been some photos that come out. I will go through those, but they're not high resolution with detail. So that's the thing. The other thing about this forward facing jet, and we'll get more into it, but these comets that have these tails, they act like mini thrusters, right? And they experience drift. This is weird in the way that the jet is facing the sun, and this object is still moving at a forward trajectory, and it's not experiencing any drift. So that gets me curious, right? Like, we've not seen this. Number 3, unusual composition, high in nickel, low in iron, with mostly carbon dioxide instead of water. Okay, so this is where I really take interest, right? Because of this. This 3i Atlas sparks alien tech panic. Manhattan-sized visitor emits industrial nickel alloy, Harvard scientists alarmed. So I looked this up because I was like super curious and when they were talking about this, but this nickel that they're talking about that's emitting this, the gas that's emitting is nickel tetracarbonyl. And I hope I said that right, but I'm sure people will correct me. But that's used in manufacturing aerospace on Earth, right? It's refined metallic gas caused by industrial chemical process. So that's not something that you see in nature. It's not something you see in space. According to Avi Loeb, it's only something you see in human factories. And it's used in aerospace. It's used for coating jet turbines, high performance alloys. And this object is emitting this gas. So that like raises a question, right? And that's where this whole alien thing comes in. It's like, if it's not made in nature, is it artificial, or is it made by an advanced race, or could this be an object that is an artifact from an advanced civilization and this object's been traveling through space for like billions of years to reach us? So that in itself is super fascinating. The other thing is that they are not seeing iron, right? So in most comets, we're supposedly see iron and nickel. There's no iron in this, and iron and nickel, you can't find in a comet. You can't find one without the other. But we're not seeing this in 3i Atlas. So of course, that is super interesting, right? Number 4 is the extreme polarization. Light from the object shows strong negative polarization. Number 5, its perfect alignment. Its trajectory matches the elliptical plane within 5 degrees, 0.2% likelihood. So that's another fascinating thing that had me saying, okay, wow, because with most comets, we don't see this perfect trajectory. It just doesn't happen. This what they're talking about is so it's the flat disc-shaped path that our planets orbit on, and the fact that it's traveling at such a precise trajectory is just bizarre in itself, right? So if you think about like if you were taking a trip, right? You're going to take a trip at a perfect time when you can see all of the hotspots. That's kind of what's like going on here. Number 6, suspicious timing. It arrived at a moment optimized to pass near Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. And the likelihood of that, and this is what I was just talking about, is 0.005% likelihood. So already, I mean, it just gets weirder and weirder. Let's see here. Okay, and here's one thing and this next one that had me go, whoa, that is super crazy. Uh, Directional coincidence. So it's aligned with 9 degrees of the 1977 WOW signal. And the likelihood of that is 0.6%.
The WOW signal?
Ohio State has a radio telescope that conducts electronic searches for extraterrestrial intelligence. In August 1977, my buddy Jerry Amon found a transmission on the printout like this. He was so excited he wrote "wow" in the margins.
What was there?
A signal 30 times stronger than galactic background noise. It came through on the 21 centimeter frequency, which no satellite transmitters are allowed to use. The signal was intermittent, like Morse code. And more importantly, the signal seemed to turn itself on while in the telescope's beam. The WOW signal is the best evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. But this...
So, that's really fascinating, but, coincidental maybe. I thought that was cool. And then, so nickel and cyanide traces, photo reveals possible signature consistent with industrial nickel alloy and cyanide compound. So that's what we were talking about with the nickel tetracarbonyl. So at least 3 of those things to me are pretty fascinating. And so I have this, if you go to thickness3iatlas.com, here's where we have it. This is where it is. And it looks like it's above the sun, slightly behind it. And on the 29th, it should be reach its perihelion behind where it's closest approach to the sun. Now, I've also seen this stuff that people are talking about the approach to the sun, right? If it's behind the sun, we can't really see with any of our satellites or telescopes what it's doing. But there's been speculation about that if this is some type of extraterrestrial vehicle, that it could be getting fuel from the sun, right? And then I found this. Let's check this out.
In March 2012, astronomers monitoring images from a solar telescope in Earth's orbit see something ominous just to the west of the sun's south pole.
What the heck is that? It's Darth Vader's big vehicle, of course.
It looks like the Death Star from Star Wars.
I certainly hope it's not a Death Star. Otherwise, we're in serious trouble.
Planet-sized tendrils appear to connect the globe of darkness to the sun's surface. This connection fuels speculation that the sinister sphere's presence near our star is no coincidence.
Why would anybody visit the sun? Well, it might be a good place to refuel.
The sun burns hydrogen, the perfect fuel for a starship.
Could spaceships be refueling by getting as close as possible to stars and sapping up that energy, and that's what's fueling them through space?
Now, of course, this is highly speculative, but the mention of a Death Star, is pretty crazy, because last night, we've got, these new photos. So let's take a look at these. Let me pull this up here. So here are the new photos that came out, and they're comparing it to a Death Star. So it looks like a perfect sphere. And here we've got more images from this YouTuber.
Comet Atlas, at this point, Again, this is from a solar telescope, and Dobsonian says he plans to try to go live on this thing later with the regular telescope.
So they took these pictures, they're like cleaning them up, and as they're cleaning them up, they're finding like these weird like images, but it kind of looks like a Death Star. So that was from last night. So and a lot of stuff has been coming out. Let's look at some other stuff here. Okay. I thought this was curious and interesting. Scientists detect coordinated Fibonacci pulse from 3i Atlas. Interstellar communication frequency, the pulse sequence 813-8-513-8 matches a Fibonacci code, a mathematical signature found in DNA galaxies and advanced algorithms. That was the other thing, like they talked about how it was pulsing at like a rhythm. And then we had this, which I thought this is like kind of sensationalized, but it is real. So NASA quietly activates Planetary Defense Network for 3i Atlas without saying a word. So this is what's happening for the first time in history. An interstellar object namely 3i Atlas, has been formally enrolled in a planetary defense level observation campaign. And I kind of questioned this at first when I started to look up, like try to find the source for this, because I thought NASA was not releasing stuff right now, or anyone was working there. So also, now this was pretty crazy, and I'm still looking into this. I'm sure that more news will come out, but this was from last night that I saw from ESA, European Space Agency analyst. I'm not LARPing. I'm not a whistleblower dying of cancer. I just feel people need to know something big is about to happen in December. Many homes-based observations will see it all. And an ESA analyst posted anonymously on 4chan alleging that the interstellar object 3i Atlas has been detected by the Fermi GST, producing a stable engine-like signal, I can't even read here, attributable to natural space source. According to the claim, the data was instantly funneled into NASA's secrecy protocol, leaving ESA staff cut out. So we have a 4chan whistleblower, and so this whole idea about like, okay, so maybe it's an artificial intelligence, or it's an extraterrestrial vehicle with extraterrestrials on it. It does seem kind of crazy, but a lot of this stuff that they're discovering is bizarre. Which brings me to this other thing here. Now, one of the things that I wanted to show you is there's this remote viewer named Sebastian Martin, and he is talking about this, how he remote viewed 3i Atlas. So let's check this out and let's listen to it.
I was kind of surprised because I had no contacts at CERN directly, and then all of a sudden I was talking to this woman, and she was telling me that the
so CERN is the place where I think they have the big hadron collider where they smash particles together, and there had been this thing going that they opened up a portal to like another world or something.
Portal that was opening up to speak to those beings was already in existence, like almost like in a boardroom setting. So they show up and then they interact with scientists and communicate directly with them.
Okay, wait. So I know this is some of our audience might understand what you're saying, but to be clear, CERN already has a room and a technology to open a portal to talk to extraterrestrials.
Yes.
But recently, they also used it to communicate with the beings on 3i Atlas.
That's correct.
Okay, go on.
So those beings introduce themselves as such, like so we are the occupants of this object. I don't know exactly what were the exact communication to address the object, if they say it was 3i Atlas or something else, I don't know. But somehow the scientists knew it was from 3i Atlas for what was coming.
Okay.
And they did not show up physically. They show up as holograms. I didn't really know how they look like. So I don't didn't really ask the question, which is kind of silly of me, but they apparently showed up as holograms. They looked tall, that's what she said, and they communicated telepathically with every single scientist in the room.
Wow.
And they all got the same message, which is that they are coming in peace, and they're just trying to come over here to gather all the star seeds of this planet. That's pretty much, to me, it's kind of a cryptic message. I don't know what that means exactly, but that's how they introduce themselves as to come here.
So when you remote...
So the other thing is that how perfect that the trajectory is and how it's not experiencing any drift. I was also reading that some scientists believe that it could be hollow, right? And there's some type of internal mechanism that's balancing it and absorbing like the drift so that it stays on its perfect trajectory. That could be another possibility. The other possibility is that it's too massive to experience any drift, and that the jet that's coming out from the front would not knock it off its path. I mean, there's just so much stuff here that, like I said, it just gets weirder and weirder. And let's listen to more of this.
Did you pick up on that intention as well?
Yes and no. I believe that the direct reptilians, will be coming to Earth, but as to know what the exact intent, that I couldn't really say.
Well, this is an extraordinary development.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah. So.
Okay. So I don't know how many people out there really believe in remote viewing, like the stories from Joe McMonagle. I believe this, but I don't think that we're going to actually get the truth on this. And like already NASA is not releasing anything and using the government shutdown, because if you worked at NASA, wouldn't you go straight to those photos, even if you were furloughed or whatever, just to look at them? And but yeah, so there is so much stuff that's coming out. I'm sure by the time this video comes out, there'll be more and more weird stuff. Yeah, so October 29th should be its closest to the sun, and I think by December it should make its pass by Earth. Either that, or it gets stuck in the gravitational pull of the sun and gets stuck here and it's part of our solar system, or it passes the sun and then passes Earth and we never see it again, and it was one of those weird things. But I just think that it's something that we haven't seen before at all in space, and there's a lot of things that our science hasn't caught up yet to explain. And I want to believe that this is something extraterrestrial. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I don't know what you guys think about it. If you believe it's natural or extraterrestrial, but I want to hear what you think. Leave it down in the comments. And guys, I will try to make another video of this as we get closer to the 29th, because like I said, news is just coming out on this, like so many discoveries. But until then, guys, stay curious, keep the conversation alive, and keep looking up. I'll see you later.